Oh, it's gone live.
Oh,
Okay. So, yeah, Jen, you requested this meet of we three.
yeah, like a cobra. I requested the Cobra Summit.
What's our equivalent of a cobra?
It is
Hmm.
Cobra. Well, oh, I thought you said it is our, yeah.
What
Cobra
is?
laced with Baileys. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what better.
Do, do, do.
It's a Cobra.
Okay, so Jen, why did you request this cobra meeting?
I requested this summit because I have this very important summit in which lofty matters need to be discussed.
Mm-hmm.
I've been poring over Marianne's incredible book, Love Me, and loving it. So I think it's something about, it's something about the brilliance of the work, obviously, but also about where I find myself in my life and where so many of my patients seem to be right now. And I think it's something about a kind of conflation of where we are in terms of global horror. And I think what lots of women have been reading and listening to and thinking about by way of questions surfacing around their assumptions, expectations, things they've been brought up believing to be the only way. And suddenly it feels like there's a kind of opening onto something that could look very different for lots of people. This isn't just one or two women anymore. These are swathes of us. And I just wanted to kind of get together and think about that and have an opportunity to talk about it a bit more, see what you guys feel, because I very much respect, your thinking in general. I love what you write. Let's kind of put our brains to this, I thought.
Do you mean because Marianne's book, so maybe we should have an introduction to Marianne's book. And I read it last year and I did want to give it a little reread over the weekend, didn't get time. But do you mean, first of all, could maybe Marianne could give us an introduction to her book? And secondly, Jen, do you mean in terms of relationships? But is it the whole thing? Because the book is, well, maybe if Marianne introduces
Marianne intro, and then I'll sort of share what I was thinking.
So Love Me, what's the subtitle? One Woman's Search for a Different Happy
One Woman's Search for a Different Happy Ever After.
It's me, single at 14, trying to understand how do you build a life with love and sex and family if you don't go down the route of marriage and kids. It was also questioning, why have I not gone down this route that 90% of the people around me had either done or were so determined to do? The friends that were single were really trying hard not to be. And I felt so ambivalent about it all. And so the book was like, why am I ambivalent? Am I deeply fucked up in some way that I don't understand and this is a whole defense mechanism? Or is it because this is such a very specific model of life that doesn't really fit me? And so the book is exploring that, but it's also exploring how to have a good sex life as a single woman that's not like a hookup one night stand thing. I come from an Irish Catholic background, and sex was this thing that I was really intimidated by. And because I've been single so much of my life, I was very embarrassed of how inexperienced I felt like I was. I imagined everyone else was swimming off the rafters and totally cool with everything. So it's also exploring like women's sexuality, which again is another script we're given about what women are allowed to want or like sexually and within what context. And I work after tantra retreats and do things that don't feel lots of books, which was kind of a choice to me that I ended up doing some of the stuff I did. And so then the book sort of ends with this vision of like just the many, many ways to live and love. It sounds like a cliche of like, of course there are many ways, but actually not many of us were living it. And I do think that the way the world is going at the moment, so many of our old structures are just not fit for purpose. We can't even hang in and pretend anymore. I think even 5 years ago, before the lockdown, we could pretend a lot of things. And I think our ability to pretend families are struggling, economies, we're fucked financially, that puts strain on relations. A lot of our ideas about the pinnacles of life are just crumbling. And I think with that is the family unit as we've seen it. And that's not to say family units are bad, but they are really flawed and difficult, just like every facet of life. So I do think, weirdly, the book has had its time in that a lot of things are up for re-examination at the moment. And like, what would we like things to look like? And so I was doing that with relationships, but that can go across the board. What do we want our work to look like? How big of a part do we want it to be? You know, I was so success driven for years. That was all based on trying to be good enough. Yeah, so I think lots of things we're questioning now. And so, yeah, that's the book.
Yeah.
Somebody's just left a comment just before you respond, Jen, saying something like nearly half of women 25 to 44 will be single and childless by 2030. So this couldn't be more relevant.
So for single women like me, especially like I was of the Bridget Jones era, so there was this idea that we were the saddos on the shelf and the kind of freaks. But we're now statistically, we're not freaks. Like we're becoming the norm.
Yeah.
Or as norm as anything else, because there's so many people choosing not to go into partnership, choosing to buy houses with their friends, have children with their friends. There's so many more people opening to different things, and not just the kooky outsider people. Because I think I had that in my head. I really wanted to be a normal person, but I kept not behaving like a normal person, but I was trying to get on track. But now I'm realizing that whole concept of normal is silly anyway. We don't have,
but also it's something that's out of your control, because you know, I'm a single mother. I live with my child who's 13. I've basically been single since I was pregnant with her, because even that's a weird thing to say, but even though I was married in that time to her dad, and we lived together for a couple of years during that time, and we divorced, and we would live then we were together but living apart in case that would work. And so even if you try to do that model of this normal thing, it's completely out of your control, because even if you were married to somebody who didn't have lots of affairs, your partner might die or something, you know, completely out of your control. And then you're left as a single
And
parent
also,
anyway.
people change when they have kids, right? I mean, you don't know who the person you start off the journey with will turn into, and whether that can be compatible, like even in the first year.
And also, I didn't live with my daughter's father until she was 3, and that was hard. Actually, it was harder when we lived together. But I don't think anyone should live with the person they've had a child with until they're 3, because you're just in this competitive tiredness or this resentment bubble, you know. And so actually to just get on and do it on your own, I think is quite positive. But anyway, that's going into like kids and family. But Jen, sorry.
It's all part of it, isn't it? Again, this idea of like, of what things have to look like, and it's kind of can be a relief when you kind of just accept what actually is happening and trust what actually is happening, rather than holding this one vision.
Yeah.
And so Jen, sorry, when you going back to my question I asked you about, do you feel that you wanted to talk about this in terms of relationships and love? Is that what you mean?
Well,
in terms of what you're seeing in your
in terms of what I'm seeing, I think it would be really interesting to think about it through spectrum of, I guess, being free to do things differently. So what I'm seeing in clinic is loads of younger women who are deciding, you know what, I don't know if I want kids. I'll freeze my eggs, because if they work in kind of quite, you know, big firms and corporates, they are having what's it called, egg freezing as an option, like given to them as part of their package.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this
That's
is
interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel
Oh,
Marianne, you're I think your speaker is like rubbing on some fabric or something. Is it?
It's fine now. It's only like
yeah.
but so they're doing the egg freezing. They're they're buying like little doodle dogs as pets, as companions. They go on holidays with their friends. So they're, I mean, these days no one's doing brilliantly financially, obviously, comparative to where people used to be able to get to, but they've got enough money. Often they own a flat, and they're just deciding, this can look different for me. I don't need to be sort of pinned to this idea, this set of ideas that I think our generation definitely has much choice in. And what I'm seeing then with women who are our age, so sadly, a lot of people are stuck, and they would describe it as stuck, in marriages that they can't get out of because of money. People can't afford to get divorced in the way that 10 years ago I think they would have.
Oh, that's so
and run
interesting.
2 houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I know people like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so they just have to carry on sort of, just seeing it through until financially they can prize it apart. And I think there's an increased idea of staying in it for the kids. So basically, they're kind of sticking together until the children have left for uni, essentially, seems to be the
But then would they want to really divide all their assets and have less of a lifestyle, a comfortable lifestyle that they've enjoyed for all those years anyway? That's really interesting to me, because I feel like that's going back to how it was, that people stuck with marriages for kids and stuck with marriages for economic reasons. And then we had this kind of emancipation of, women working and earning and trying to earn as much as men in the workplace and getting mortgages and things like that. And this freedom. I mean, I left a marriage when I was in my 20s. I have other friends that did that. And then, so I've been married and divorced twice by the time I was like 41 or 42. So that feels like quite a luxury now, right?
Yeah, my God, people just don't seem to be doing it, not in the same way. What is this person saying? Tax? Yes, a tax on single women is being considered. Yeah.
I'm in the US, and a tax on single women is being considered by the right. But I've seen in the UK, women are also very concerned about the affordability of being single, a paradigm shift in how we cull money, share resources, etc., is so necessary.
So Reform are now saying, did you see that they're going to introduce a single women's tax, or that's one of their ideas? Yeah. So it is as if people are responding. I think this is always the way, isn't it? When women kind of gain a little bit of traction or forward movement, it's like the pendulum crashes back again and forces them back where they were meant to be. But that all aside, I'm really struck by this defiance that I'm hearing. No, we won't be doing it like that.
From younger people.
Younger. And I think people our age going, this is not working for me. I need to find other ways of doing it. And this is where the friendship thing has really, really kind of become so much more central to so many of the conversations I'm having with them, and I have with, people in my life, is the friends are where it's really at this stage.
But we've moved away from community, and friends are the community, and actually my friends are really spread out around the country and the world. It'd be nice to think that we're returning back to community. Can I just ask a quick question about the women who are they having sex? I would like to know, those younger women.
No.
You see, this is what I find interesting. What Susan Faludi called The Backlash, her book of the same name from the 1980s. I don't know that one. So yes, they're not having sex, Jen. So they're single and they're enjoying their work. They're freezing their eggs. They're this, that, and the other, but they're not having sex with anybody. And I think that there is this fear about younger people not having sex. Marianne, what do you think about all this? In terms of like what Jen's describing that she's seeing?
Everything has a light and a shade to it. So the single women and young women who are free and they've got their dogs and they've got their equis and amazing to not be trapped by that story I was trapped by, that there's something wrong with you if you don't have a boyfriend, there's something wrong with you if you haven't moved in by 20, you know, all those storylines. There's a liberation in the fact that they're not buying into that. And I think there's another human reality, which is that we need touch and companionship. Like in lockdown, living alone in lockdown, I unraveled because I didn't have access to friends to hug because we were all in separate things. We need humans and we need touch. And sex for me is really important. It might not be for everyone, but that kind of physical intimacy, we're animals. I think that's quite a strong need in a lot of us. And we don't talk clearly about sex and that kind of physical intimacy. It's kind of so loaded with all this nonsense. But the animal side of me certainly needs skin on skin. And I think that's the danger with the very independent life that you can build now. And actually, that was what I was always building. All I wanted was a flat of my own and a desk with flowers. And I got that. And then in lockdown, I saw the flip side of that, which is that we are not, in my opinion, meant to live alone like that. It's terrible.
What do you think about getting animals, though, into those households? Like, would that be enough?
Yeah, but then you can't chat to an animal. An animal is not.
You can't. I chat to animals all day long.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit dead inside. Everyone can cancel me now. A little bit dead inside.
Everyone leaves.
Animals are like people, but it doesn't have to be marriage form. So this is where Love Me kind of goes into the question of, like, again, this myth of the one, and we put so much pressure on the one, which Esther Perel says we were suddenly expecting one person to do what historically a village did. So of course that's fucked, and that is not. It's not feasible for either side, either partner. But I do think we need each other, and so it's about how to build lives that have got, for me, physical closeness. So like a lot of the friends I now have are literally living on my street because in lockdown I really needed that. It got to the point where I couldn't bear to have another Zoom call. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I needed people next
It's amazing what you built, though, Marianne.
Yeah, it was so much luck that in our building, we had a building, it turned out, of single people. And I think in any other period of life, we'd have all been cool and busy and doing our thing. And in that instance, none of us could go anywhere. I was so lonely and unhinged. I mean, God knows they couldn't run away from me. I'm sure they wanted to run away from me at points. But we became family. Like, it's such a cliche, but we really actually did. And that bond is still there. And so I feel like I did kind of do what I wanted to do, which is to sort of create a different version of family to perhaps the nuclear one, where I do get touch. We've agreed, we go to doctor's we've had quite serious conversations about what we mean to each other. Because again, with partnership, I think a lot of things is said out loud. Like you're taking vows if you get married, but when you move in together, there's a lot of things that have to be negotiated. With friendships, a lot of stuff goes unsaid, and it can be awful and easy.
People have expectations, right? The reality doesn't always meet their expectations. Is this a group of people who are A, a similar age to you, and B, a mix of men and women, or just women?
Men, women, mostly 30s, 40s, although we've got into 60s. Just this little area I live in, and but maybe all areas are like this. We just somehow had the opportunity to all bump into each other at that time in lockdown, and we bonded. And it turned out that all of us were single. That's no longer the case. But those promises were made in the beginning of, you call me when things are bad and I will come. You need to go to the doctor, I will come with you if you need someone. We actually had these conversations.
It's so moving. I don't know why that's so much more moving than if a couple say it to each other. But it really is. I think, like, personally, because and this is why it's so resonant for me as well, because I don't really have a I mean, of course I have a family of origin, but they're not capable. They are, they're very ill, disabled. Yeah. All sorts of shit. You both know some of it, but I don't have that in my life. And what I do have is my husband and my two kids. But that's not enough. Like, and what I've really understood in recent times, and probably since COVID, it's true, is how much I love and need women. Like, if everyone left, I need women. You know, I cannot function. I can't survive. I can't breathe without women. And so this is why it just, I feel so like deeply moved by that, you talking in that way to each other, because I think we don't do that. We need that. And it should have more words, like in the book where you say about people getting married to each other, friends getting married to each other. I think, like, I would want to do that. Yes, please.
Yeah, there is an Atlantic article that really went viral. The Atlantic article was, "What if friendship, not marriage, was the center of our lives?" I think it was Roma. I can't remember her last name. She wrote a book about it, and the book was excellent too. But it really did the rounds because it tapped into something.
Oh, maybe we should link to that when we post this.
Definitely.
I was just thinking, actually, as you said that I spent a lot of my life single. I mean, I've been single now for quite a few years, like 5 or 6 years, and I was single in my 20s. I was single from about 28 to 35 when I met my daughter's dad, and then I really, like I said earlier, kind of consider myself single ever since I was pregnant because he wasn't reliable. But one thing I would say is that between 28 and 35, I did go on dates and things, but I didn't really feel I had such strong male friends during that time that I didn't feel that I needed a boyfriend, because I was always hanging out with my male. I mean, I had a huge group of female friends as well, but I just felt like I had the men around me as well. So I know what you're saying, Jen, and I probably feel I actually I don't have male friends now because the guys that I was hanging out with then have drifted off into marriages or whatever. But and I really miss men as well, like just hanging out with guys, like friends, male energy. So I think and when you were talking about COVID, Marianne, I was thinking that when we went into COVID, I was just like, easy peasy. I'm on my own all the time. I don't go out to work. I just live with my daughter. I don't commute. I don't really go out to bars and restaurants. Oh my God, I'm making myself sound so boring. I was like, easy. I can do this. COVID's a breeze for me. And it wasn't actually that much different. But I came out of it and opened a bookshop because I think I was craving for face to face, and I hoped that other people were going to come out of it and want face to face, even if it is just going to a shop or something like that. And we don't seem to have done that. We seem to have come out and stayed very much
quite agoraphobic.
There's another comment from Mary saying, "I live alone and love my dog, but she doesn't give me orgasms." Few. Full body cuddles. Which human animals get oxytocin and yummy neurochemicals from. Animals don't talk back, which can be nice. So it's not real conversation.
And I agree that they can't hug you. It's so annoying that they can't hug you, isn't it? I get frustrated by that.
My dog's under the table and she's shaking her head right now because she's like, I'm 30 kilos, but I could still get up on your lap if you let me and cuddle you. So, but no, it's true.
Important. I think touch is important. And I do think human touch, I don't know the study, but I imagine human touch does something slightly different to us. Maybe it doesn't.
I think you might be right about the skin on skin. Because I think fur touch is meant to release like oxytocin. But I wonder if you did a kind of, if you put diodes on the skin, whether
there's studies. When I did my second book with Wendy Mitchell, the Dementia Bible, if you like, it's called What I Wish People Knew About Dementia. There were 2 chapters. There were plenty of chapters, but 2 in particular stuck with me. One was called Environment, and it was all about the importance of communal living as you get older, even in a block of flats, so that in a stairwell you bump into people and say hello and things like that. Or having a window to look out of that you see people walk by. And if you think about it, if that's good for people with dementia. But this wasn't particularly about dementia. It was about just getting older. But the other thing was about touch, and it was about, in Japan, they're like so on the dementia stuff, but they're also very much into caring for elderly people. And so they have school kids that go into old folks' homes and give them hand massages. And actually there was evidence that people with dementia who had received a hand massage, their symptoms, if you like, or their memory improved for up to 2 weeks afterwards, I think it was, just from that human touch.
That's cool, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and so you're absolutely right. Oh, there's another question here. Why do you think that traditional dating apps are still so prevalent versus apps geared towards women meeting other women platonically? I'm at a loss as to why women aren't innovating to find one another. Are we socialized out of prioritizing friendship in the same we do a romantic partner?
I think our generation probably was. Maybe younger ones aren't. I don't know. But I think
it's changing a bit. But yeah,
it's changing a bit, exactly. But friendship wasn't prioritized. It was this really great, nice thing to have. But my experience was that then when you found your partner, that's when your real life started, and then friendship became this extra thing that happened around it. Whereas now, I think the conversation is changing a lot more in that. Well, yeah, friendships are becoming more fundamental and maybe more committed, or at least that's what's been happening in my life, quite intentionally.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I sometimes wonder, God, am I greedy that I just can't get enough? Like, it's this very particular kind of connection, like now, like, oh, I just want to squish your faces and eat you up. I can't get enough of you. The conversation is so like oxygen, and it feels so rich, and I just think that's what I want. I want that every second of my life, all day long. I would die without it.
Yeah.
And so I think they should do that.
Well, I think a lot of people, we have these
friendship bits. Sorry, some people have a friendship bit, but maybe it just didn't really take off.
Oh yeah, they do, don't they? But that's why, I mean, I think a lot of people find community important on Substack. I mean, I know, for example, the monthly meetups that I offer to my subscribers. Some people have messaged me saying that they're a lifeline for them. I mean, that's how they feel about it, knowing that they're going to meet up with like-minded women and talk about, women's issues or feminist essays or writing, and Marianne, you do a lot of community stuff, don't you? Writing community. And so I think that we do find these communities and we create them. And I'm a big believer in just creating them, and they don't have to be big or small or online, or they can just be with your neighbors. I mean, I live in a really cute street, and we have, our little WhatsApp groups, and we're always not in and out of each other's houses, but last night I needed some gravy granules, and so we're just back and forth. And so I think these kind of communities are really, really vital, and I think that, like you're saying, in the world that we live in, more vital than ever. And that human connection as well. Like when we're looking at world events and the way that other humans are talking about other humans.
Oh God, there's so much hate.
It's awful. And there's that thing about, more in common than we have that divides us. And it's just so true. We do need other people. We do need the touch, Marianne. And Mary said, having children also equals gorgeous cuddles. I mean, not if you live with a teenager.
No.
Even attempting to do that.
Flighty spider. No way. He wouldn't.
Yeah. It's like cuddling, trying to ask a spider plant to give you a hug. Yeah. But it's so interesting what you're seeing in your
it's really something, isn't it? But I'm wondering about, like, I think you're right that when we sort of look online or when we look on the news, all we're hearing is hate. That's all we hear. And it's getting worse and worse. I don't see any improvement at a global level. But I wonder if that is what is driving then people to go, oh, screw you lot. We have no faith in you to sort this out. Fine. We're just going to make our own communities, relationships, connections. You know what, as well, I started to read about this. Who wrote about Marianne? Maybe it was you that wrote this in a Substack about like people who live in communities like IRL. They're getting so hacked off with local councils and things not stepping in and doing the works, like putting in ramps and stuff for wheelchairs. They're just getting out in the middle of the night and putting them there. Or what's he called? Who did the pothole?
Rod Stewart.
Yes!
Yeah, brilliant. I think that's such a good sign that we go from being passive and checked out and scared into, okay, I do what I can do.
Yeah, in my village.
I do what I can do for my neighbour. I do what I can do for myself.
Yeah,
I think that's really healthy and good for us, because otherwise it's
and using online for good. So not just scroll and make yourself feel shit, but going, right, where are the like-minded? Where are the communities? Where are the people that want the same thing as me and want this better?
I did a piece yesterday about all my frustrations with the current international news. And I was saying that, you know, when people drop bombs, we should, you know, send flowers. And that, well, actually, Marianne, you just posted that comment, the
Goldberg quote.
Yeah. And I was saying about how, you know, for every time you hear somebody, some meathead like Pete Hegseth say something, you know, really aggressive, then just write something beautiful and put that out, as if it could kind of, you know, delete what he said if we just share these beautiful human stories. And I think it's the only way, you know, it's but the reason I was telling you about that is that I had so many comments on that piece of people saying like, thank you for writing this. And this really resonated, because I think we're all feeling the same. And I was wondering about how to, you know, even more create those spaces where we can write these nice things together, you know, write these beautiful things and these shared experiences. And I know that's what, you know, we try to do in the communities that we build, but now more than ever, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, we do need it. I started, whenever I was like trolled or anything online, I started like following them back and just squashing them with love. Just like, look at what you're doing. You should feel so proud of yourself. But genuinely finding something to mean it about, you know. I love what you've done with your kitchen. I mean, it was always silence. Nothing would come back.
Oh, beautiful. Sarah Silverman. Do you remember the comedian Sarah Silverman? She was getting trolled on Twitter, and a guy, whatever, saying what a waste of space she was, how crap whatever routine she'd just done was. And she started to reply to him, like in total sincerity, not pretending, but like, are you okay?
Oh, wow.
And the whole dialogue happened, where by the end it transpired he'd had a spinal injury, he hadn't worked in 10 years. You know, he was on the edge. And she then, I might be making this up and embellishing it, but my memory is that she offered to help with medical support.
Bloody hell.
We can Google it after, because it was written about at the time. But I think I wonder if she's a Buddhist or whether she's got into meditation, but she talks about kindness, like genuinely being her operating principle. And sometimes that's really hard, because sometimes you've got to try and be kind to someone who's been really crappy to you. And I'm not good at that. That's when I shut down. But I just admired it so much that she could go, are you okay? And of course he wasn't. Most people that are sending those kind of hateful comments are not.
You're not going to be okay. That's true. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Marianne, though, about when we said about doing the Substack today, this live today, and focusing on friendship, and then you said that brilliant bit about but hang on, because we do sort of fetishize female friendships now as well. Like it's almost as if some of us have kind of gone, maybe me.
But just to be careful, you know, say in my generation that the tendency was to fetishize the one or the guy, and he's so amazing and he's this, and he's fucking human like all of us. Ditto with friendships. So now I think we're very much in a time where friendship is really celebrated, and that's lovely. But there's also a lot that's not being written about friendship, and a lot of the ways that friends hurt us and that we hurt them. And like anything, nothing is perfect. Humans are flawed. We rub each other up the wrong way. We do our best. So to not put friendship on a pedestal either. Ditto community. You know, community's a pain in the arse sometimes. You don't want to go and do the thing that helps the person next to you. It's not all coffees and sweetness. It's a pain sometimes. Anyway, so just to watch that, that we don't start marketing friendship in a way that for ages romance was marketed.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
And maybe there is just something about that. It's like what you're saying here, it's not, it doesn't have to be too disconnected realities. You know, this can be true and this can be true.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's not either or. It's not partnership or friendship, and it's not singledom or love. Like they all coexist, and they can be both. And I can be independent and need love. I love living on my own, and I need touch. Like these things that sometimes can be put as oppositions, they're actually not. And that seems to be our human structure that we're in, is very much this or that. And
we are. Yeah.
Life with everything is everything.
Marianne, I'm sorry to debase this conversation by bringing it back to sex, but what do you think of these young people that Jen's seeing who are not having sex, and like what is their trajectory in life if they've kind of turned away from that? Because I agree with you. I think it's a really vital part of a human experience, and I miss that I don't have that in my life, and I feel that I've had to just kind of cut that part of me away and not think about it. But what do you think it means to be that young and not be having that life, or doesn't it mean anything, or not even in seeking that life?
Yeah, I wonder. Like in some ways, it's probably a huge relief. Like in my 20s, I was always single, but felt like I should be seeking experiences, because I was also that generation where it was like a checklist of, you know, in a teenager, what you've done with who. And I don't know if they're still like that. So sex in itself was like this embarrassing thing to not be having, and that's everything's problematic. So it's not like in my 20s I was having loads of sex, so I don't listen to them and worry. But it's more like the discounting of it, or I don't need that, or I don't need other men or humans. I don't believe that's true. But I also understand why a lot of people do not want the kind of sex that's on offer. The world, like the way we've gone on that front, is not good.
No.
You know, that for so many young people, and porn is their sex education.
And that's the sad thing.
Terrifying sex. If that was
Yeah.
And, oh my God, I would be absolutely petrified. So,
and the strangulation thing, I mean, that's huge.
And the slapping. And so we had a different kind of unreality. We had that like sepia tinted, you know, the woman is kissed for a second and then clothes fall off and then she's screaming with, you know, abandon. And that didn't happen for me. But they're seeing a very different version, which is really, oh God. So I also don't blame them for not wanting that.
But also it's intimacy though, isn't it? Like it's not, I mean, sex is a form of intimacy. And so I would be more worried about like where are those 25-year-olds getting an intimate life from?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think you need to go out and do some field research for us, Jen.
I think I do.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It would be, it's a really good point, isn't it? Because I'm thinking about also libido, as in life drive, you know, energy for what is sort of, I guess, fertile and vital about life. And that's what I also see a slight diminishment of. That, like you said earlier, Anna, no one goes out. I mean, you know, when I hear reports back of what uni life is like, Jesus, I mean, I know they're very different. You can't compare our experiences, but these fucking phones. I mean, when they have these little communal areas, and they're meant to go and have a chat, you know, in the kitchen or whatever. But everyone's on their phone, and they've got the shyness of being 18, but they don't have to make the effort because they can just, you know, lose themselves in that.
Yeah, it's interesting. My she's 13 and a half, and she is out all the time. Like, there's a big bunch of them, boys and girls. They have a really big social group, and they are just out they'll be out every single night after school. Yeah. They're out all weekend. They have parties. They're all boyfriend, girlfriend this week, the next week. But they're all together. And I mean, she texted me at break saying, I'm going to town after school. And I was like, no, you're not. You're staying in and cleaning your room. And so there are downsides of, this social life, but I also really encourage it.
Totally. Yeah. But it's much more like it used to be, I think. But I think there is a COVID generation of kids who missed something in their early teens and who are now the ones trying to be at uni, and it's not going so well.
Right, interesting. So I just wonder what, like I was asking Marianne, what does she think about these women in their mid-20s and their lack of intimacy with another human? But like, what about these kids then? What will personal relationships mean to them in 10 years' time? If they're just looking at their phone and they're not engaging?
It's disastrous. I mean, I guess
there has to be an intervention, but what's the
well,
intervention?
obviously, if Stephen Bartlett was to be believed, then it's that we the women have to step forward and bring the slightly incel.
Okay, right. So I'm just going to add that to my list of jobs to do today then.
After the supermarket shop.
Yeah.
Is this heralding our section on food and Baileys?
Oh, yes, it is. Regular readers will know that Baileys always sneaks into our conversation.
I do have to tell you about hot cross buns, Waitrose, fudge and chocolate. Is that controversial?
Yeah, but you did this at Christmas with mince pies.
I'm sorry.
You like the ones with all the bells and whistles. Yeah,
I like the basics, I think, but like high quality basics.
Yeah, you guys are classic.
I'm not into hot cross buns.
Waitrose has also got a hot cross bun panettone. It's called a bunnetone.
No. Is it flavored? Would I like it?
No, it might be too simple for you. I think it's just really a stack.
Oh, right. Like a doner kebab, but made of
you could put Baileys on top of that.
Oh, oh yeah, like one of those fountain
it's
things.
So soggy.
We need to find more uses for Baileys. I found these in my cupboard.
Are they flavours?
Oh yeah, you'd love this.
I'd love them.
There's toffee. This one would be yours, toffee popcorn.
Oh yes,
because it's just so random, and so that's for you, Jen. Well then, Marianne, you have the original.
Okay, I'll have the classic. Yeah,
classic.
And I don't mind the chocolate. I mean, I'm happy to go with that. So we have one each.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So we've just to recap on on what we found for Baileys. So our Baileys journey. Yeah. So the Baileys on porridge is still the standout.
Yes.
But this Baileys on hot cross bun sounds interesting.
Power.
Baileys and coffee. That's
standard. Yeah. I mean, it was the porridge that blew our minds. Yeah.
That was milk.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was not my idea. That was actually Mary Green's idea, I think. It's on our chat. Mary was one of my neighbours.
If you ever run out of milk,
you're a racing lady. Bunnetone, she's saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's what it's actually. That's the Waitrose. God, I can't believe they've called it that. It's so fun.
Waitrose are good at reinventing the wheel, actually, aren't they?
They are.
You know what? I go to Waitrose once a week on a Tuesday, and me and my daughter call it Sushi Tuesday. because we wait until they've got this lovely sushi counter, and we wait until all the yellow labels go on, and then we swoop every Tuesday.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so that's our sushi Tuesday.
Well, I bet they'll start, you could see them coining that. It's an almost Waitrose approved play on
Yeah,
words.
but they're not really yellow label type people, are they, Waitrose? They're too
don't want
posh.
to be bigging that. No, that's.
Oh, look out for this BUNNETONE. Is that what you said it is?
Yeah.
I'll look out for it, and we could always do some kind of laboratory experiment with them.
I think that's required.
Yeah. Jen, do you feel like your questions have been answered?
Yes, I feel like my questions have all been answered. Thank you. I'm going to go and have a bottle of Baileys now.
Again, it's great having conversations with you because you've got access to obviously like the thoughts of so many people. So you're probably getting such a good sense of what's going on.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, there is something in the air. But I think you killed it with that. I really do. I really think that's why books, newsflash, books are so brilliant, because it's like, especially this journalistic, I'm going out and I'm going to be the field experiment, because you have the conversations, you have, and I think you can sort of plot the chart and trend spot a bit where it's headed. And then I gather up, like, this is the evidence then, this is the movement that sort of follows. They're reading the same things, they're thinking the same things,
Ooh.
Who's this?
I mean, my sister's flat and it's Rocky, her cat. He doesn't pay you any attention, so this is quite funny that you come up.
Yeah, because you've been going on and on about touch, and then
how much you hate animals.
Jen, would you flash
really
Marianne's book again, because you did it because you did at the beginning, yeah. So and just read the subtitle again.
One Woman's Search for a Different Happy Ever After. And also, I just want to read the very end, so how Marianne finishes is by saying, every day, and this really makes me cry, every day a new potential love story, with ourselves, with another, with the sky, this cup of coffee, with this moment. Beautiful.
Yeah, it made myself cry with that final passage, actually. I was really feeling it. It felt very true in that moment.
You've got a good one when you're crying.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Have we got any other business?
Well, can I be cheeky enough to plug something? Speaking of...
Oh, yes.
I love Sex and Hope. I'm doing a 4-day writing retreat in Corfu.
I'm so jealous.
Monica Rossi, who also wrote like a very, very brave book about her sexuality, leaving a sexless relationship. But she was heartbroken. She was so in love with her partner, but just going in search of sex in her 40s. She's now in her 60s. So this was a pre-internet dating period. Anyway, her memoir is called With the Kisses of His Mouth, which has now become this sort of cult classic because it's out of print. People keep trying to get secondhand copies. And
I gave my copy to somebody years ago, and I can't remember who it was now. But
I'll tell you a book
but the other one she did was the Tryst.
Yeah,
the Tryst, right? I mean, there's a lot of chafing in the Tryst.
Would make your knuckles
sex.
There's so much sex. But we're doing a workshop in Corfu this June called Love, Sex and Hope, Lush. And it's about how important it is to be honest, but to write and talk about love and sex and hope and what our trickiness is with it and what our dreams are, but to be done honestly and beautifully. And if anyone's interested in exploring this particular kind of writing, we've still got spots left.
I mean, my dream would be to actually just attend that week in Corfu with you two, and because it would be dreamy. Because I've done a sex writing course with Monique before, and she's an amazing teacher, and you're an amazing teacher, and the two of you together be just like a week of wonderful conversation and sunshine.
Can I smuggle you in my suitcase? If I bring the big wheelie bag and pay for extra carry-on.
Yeah. You're welcome to. Yeah. I would love that. So yeah, well that's good. And
that sounds divine.
Any other business, AOB?
I've got no business. I have no business. I've done
loads of business. All about the business.
I don't think I've got any business
And
either. I mean,
also you must have
we
business.
could just,
Yeah.
huh?
Oh, plug something. Plug something.
Oh, I haven't got anything to plug actually.
Haven't you? Well, you've got your you know, all your regular monthlies.
Oh yeah, my regular monthlies. God, we could have a talk about my irregular monthlies. Yeah, well, I mean, I think I mentioned that I host a white ink meetup every month where we get together as women and women writers and readers, and we discuss all kinds of things like this, and also some writing craft and some feminist essays. We look at some feminist essays. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing to plug, I suppose. And I what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I'm just doing my edits at the moment. I'm just kind of deep in my book edits at the moment. So I just yeah, I've got 7 days. I just looked at the date. I've got to file them in 7 days. So
it's good to have a firm endpoint.
Well, this is the thing. I have to run the clock down to put that fire under me, and
Our journalist way, isn't it? It's the only way I can.
It is our journalist way. Yeah,
it's so funny because I'm really the opposite. I'm like plod, distract, say yes to everything else. Oh, carry on with
you're the tortoise. We're sitting with two hairs.
I really am. Yeah.
It's not
I'm in a really gruesome sort of gnarly thorn bush right now.
Well, that's writing a book, isn't it?
Oh God, it turns out, yeah.
Okay, well, it's been delightful.
Always.
As always.
And I love that this Cobra meeting has been super helpful. I hope other people have enjoyed it.
They've got a lot sorted out.
I just love the fact that you put this bat signal out to us, Jen. Like, I need to talk about Marianne's book and everything that it's brought up for me.
And my ego was delighted by that suggestion.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, just thank God I have access to you. The frustration is if you read a book like this and then you can't, what can you do?
You message me through Instagram and then I get lots of lovely details about people's love lives and what.
Oh, really?
That's brilliant.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everybody who stayed for the course, and those who have watched on who will be watching on catch up. So yeah, I mean, I guess yes.
I wonder if at some point we do have to have a Cobra meeting about Manosphere stuff.
Oh shoot, we do.
Oh, don't bring this in when I was literally
sorry. I just want Baileys and good. I don't know, but that's the other thing that's knocking obviously around my head a lot. I know most people.
Well, maybe we should say to people who are still on, if you have anything you'd like us to talk about Manosphere related, specific,
or anything related.
Yeah,
anything. We'll talk about anything. We can fill an hour.
We can do Lindt chocolate bunnies. Cadbury cream eggs. We could do an Easter egg.
Oh yeah, why don't we do an Easter?
We must do Easter
because we did the whole mince pie thing.
Let's do it.
It's in a couple of weeks. Let's do
that. Lovely. I'm around.
Do they do like a Bailey's egg?
They must do.
They do. I bet they do.
Yeah. Okay, that's what we have to look at. Yeah. Okay, right, fine. We brought it back to food. Good.
Bailey's, most specifically. Loads of love, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.